Beloved, I know the door at work that closed in front of you, and I know how deeply it touched the hidden places of your heart. I know it was not only a meeting, not only an email, not only a decision made in a room where your name was discussed. I know it felt personal. I know it reached into memories you thought had already healed, into places where you have wondered if you are truly seen, truly valued, truly chosen. You tried to be strong. You tried to keep your face steady. You tried to tell yourself that it was only business, only a change, only a season ending. But I saw the way your spirit trembled when that door closed. I saw the questions that rose in silence. I saw the tears you did not want anyone else to see. I know what it felt like to be overlooked after years of faithfulness, to watch another person receive the promotion you prayed about, prepared for, and believed was finally near. I know what it felt like to be removed from a team where you had poured your strength, your ideas, your patience, and your excellence. I know the ache of being pushed aside when you had given more than people ever acknowledged. I know the wound that came when your role changed, when access was taken, when favor seemed to shift, when the place where you once felt useful suddenly made you feel unnecessary. Nothing about that moment was hidden from me. Not the conversation, not the timing, not the disappointment, not the heaviness that followed you home. But listen deeply, my child. That closed door was not your failure. It was not proof that I abandoned you. It was not a sign that your calling has been canceled, erased, or disqualified. People may have misread your value, but heaven did not. People may have measured you by a title, a budget, an office, a position, a report, or a season of visible productivity, but I have never measured you that way. Before they knew your name, I knew the assignment I placed within you. Before they gave you access, I had already marked you with purpose. Before that door opened, and before that door closed, I was still Lord over your steps. I saw this before it happened. I was not surprised by the decision that shocked you. I was not confused by the rejection that confused you. I was not absent from the room where others spoke, planned, shifted, promoted, dismissed, or ignored. I was watching over you with a wisdom deeper than your present understanding. As written in the book of Proverbs, the heart of man deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps, and so it is with you. What felt like interruption may be direction. What felt like rejection may be release. What felt like loss may be the mercy that begins to move you toward the place your soul could not reach while you remained bound to the old one. I did not allow that door to close because your life has no purpose. I allowed it because your assignment is changing. I did not permit that season to shift because I have forgotten the labor of your hands. I permitted it because I am preparing your hands for something your former place could not contain. I did not let that opportunity pass you by to shame you. I let it pass because there is another threshold ahead, and I am teaching you not to cling to a door simply because it was familiar. Beloved, sometimes the door you wanted would have kept you small. Sometimes the place you grieved was the place I used only for a season. Sometimes the very ending you call painful is the beginning of a new season you could not yet see. So today, do not let rejection become your identity. Do not let one closed workplace door preach a false gospel over your future. Do not say, I am finished, when I am saying, you are being redirected. Do not say, I have failed, when I am saying, your assignment is being refined. This is not the end of your calling. This may be the dawn of another one. I am positioning you, protecting you, and preparing you, even through the ache you did not choose. And if this word is touching your work season, if your heart knows that I am speaking into the place where a door closed and fear tried to enter, then pause and come into agreement. Like this video as a sign that you are receiving hope instead of despair. Subscribe for more God-centered encouragement that keeps your eyes fixed on me in uncertain seasons. And write in the comments, Lord, lead my next assignment. Let those words become a quiet act of surrender before we go deeper, because I am not finished with you, beloved. The door closed, but my hand is still open. The season shifted, but my purpose still stands. Beloved, beneath the closing of that door there was another wound, one that was quieter and deeper than the change itself. It was the pain of feeling unseen. It was the ache of wondering how people could stand so close to your labor and still not recognize the weight you carried. It was the sting of being misread when your intentions were pure, undervalued when your hands had been faithful, replaced when your heart was still willing. and quietly humiliated in a place where you had tried to remain honorable. I saw that wound. I saw the way you replayed conversations in your mind, searching for what you could have said differently, what you could have done better, what sign you missed, what moment caused their view of you to change. I saw the heaviness that came when your name was no longer mentioned with the same respect, when your seat felt less secure, when your contribution seemed to fade from their memory. I saw every late night, every silent sacrifice, every burden you carried without applause, and every moment you kept serving while your heart was tired. I saw you do the work no one celebrated. I saw you answer with patience when you were under pressure. I saw you keep showing up when your spirit was weary and your confidence was trembling. I saw the times you held back tears in the parking lot, at your desk, in the quiet of your room, or on the way home, because you did not want to break down in front of those who already failed to understand the depth of what you were carrying. Nothing about your hidden faithfulness was wasted before me. Nothing about your obedience disappeared because people did not record it, reward it, mention it, or honor it. The workplace may measure performance, politics, timing, visibility, numbers, influence, and who speaks loudest in the room, but I do not see as man sees. I see obedience when no one is watching. I see integrity when compromise would have been easier. I see humility when pride could have risen in your defense. I see endurance when your soul is tired but your hands remain faithful. I see the prayers you whispered before meetings. I see the restraint you practiced when your flesh wanted to answer harshly. I see the excellence you offered even when your heart knew you were not being valued the way you should have been. People may have seen only a role, a function, a department, a title, or a number attached to your name, but I saw the person beneath the responsibility. I saw my child. And I know, beloved, that job stress can reach beyond schedules, deadlines, assignments, and decisions. It can begin to press against your identity. It can make you wonder if you are still capable, still chosen, still useful, still gifted, still on the right path. It can make one closed door sound like a verdict over your whole future. It can make one manager's silence feel like heaven's silence. It can make one company's rejection feel like proof that you have somehow lost your place in the story I am writing. But listen to me now. Their inability to recognize your value did not remove your value. Their decision did not redefine your calling. Their assessment did not change my affection. Their rejection did not erase the mark I placed upon your soul. Your worth was never created by a title. Your worth was never created by a salary, a position, a manager, a company name, a promotion, a contract, an office, a platform, or the approval of people. Those things may have been tools in a season, but they were never the source of who you are. I gave you breath before any employer gave you opportunity. I called you mine before any human authority called you qualified. I placed purpose inside you before anyone placed a nameplate on a door, a role in a system, or a responsibility in your hands. As written in Isaiah 43:1, I have called thee by thy name, thou art mine. Those words are not only for the moments when life feels bright and open. They are for the moments when your confidence feels shaken, when your workplace wound feels fresh, when your heart whispers, "What did they not see in me?" They did not see everything, beloved, but I did. They did not see the full measure of your obedience, but I did. They did not see how much it cost you to keep going, but I did. They did not see the grace it took for you to remain kind, patient, and faithful while feeling overlooked, but I did. And because I saw it, it is not lost. Because I saw it, it still matters. Because I saw it, I can use even what they ignored as seed for the new season ahead. So do not carry their blindness as your identity. Do not let their limited sight become the mirror by which you judge your life. Look at me again. Let my voice become louder than their evaluation. Let my love become stronger than the shame that tried to follow you out of that door. I saw what they did not see in you, and my view of you has not changed. Beloved, because I saw what they did not see in you, I also knew when the place that once gave you room would begin to press against what I had planted inside you. I knew when the environment that once felt like opportunity would begin to feel like confinement. I knew when the work that once stirred your gifts would begin to drain your spirit, not because you were weak, not because you were ungrateful, not because you had lost discipline, but because the season around you had begun to shift. Before a door closes visibly, the soul often feels pressure privately. There is a restlessness that cannot always be explained, There is an exhaustion that sleep does not fully heal. There is a tension in the spirit, a loss of peace, a quiet ache that says something no longer fits the way it once did. You may have tried to ignore it. You may have told yourself to be stronger, to endure, to stay grateful, to stop feeling so sensitive, to keep going because this was the place you had prayed to enter. You may have wondered why your heart felt heavy in a room where you once felt excited. You may have wondered why every meeting felt harder, why every delay felt personal, why every denied opportunity touched something deep within you. You may have felt yourself shrinking in conversations, second-guessing your voice, doubting your ability, asking whether you had missed me somewhere along the way. But listen closely, my child. The pressure you felt was not always proof that you were failing. Many times it was my hand gently moving you out of a place that had become too small for the assignment ahead. There are seasons when I do not remove you immediately, because I am teaching you to discern the difference between temporary discomfort and divine transition. There are seasons when I allow the pressure to increase, not to crush you, but to awaken you. A seed beneath the soil feels pressure before it breaks open. A child in the womb feels pressure before birth begins. The dawn presses against the night before light spreads across the sky, and so it is with you. The pressure around that workplace door was not only pain, it was movement, it was mercy, it was the stirring of a new season beneath the surface of your life. I know you prayed for relief. I heard you when you asked me to make the tension stop, to soften the hearts around you, to restore the joy you once had, to bring back the peace that seemed to disappear. I heard you when you prayed for things to return to normal, when you asked me to fix the old place, open the old path, restore the old rhythm, and make the old door feel safe again. But beloved, while you were praying for relief, I was preparing release. While you were asking for things to return to normal, I was preparing something new. While you were asking me to change the atmosphere around you, I was changing the direction beneath you. I did not ignore your prayer. I answered it in a way your heart did not yet understand. This is why some doors became harder to open. This is why some conversations became strained. This is why the promotion stalled, the opportunity was delayed, the support disappeared, the favor shifted, or the plan changed suddenly. Not every conflict was proof that the enemy had won. Not every denied opportunity was proof that heaven had said no to your future. Not every stalled advancement was a sentence against your worth. Sometimes the thing that frustrated you was the very instrument I used to loosen your attachment to a place you would have never left while it still felt comfortable. Sometimes I allow what once held you to become uncomfortable, because comfort can become a chain when I am calling you forward. But hear me clearly, beloved. I am not the author of cruelty. I am not the author of injustice. I am not the author of confusion, manipulation, dishonor, or the wounds people caused when they acted from pride, fear, selfishness, or blindness. I do not delight in your humiliation. I do not take pleasure in the tears you cried after being misunderstood, overlooked, or pushed aside. As written in the book of Romans, all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. It does not say all things were good. It says I am able to work them together for good. I can take what others meant for harm and turn it into positioning. I can take what wounded your confidence and use it to strengthen your discernment. I can take what felt like rejection and use it as the road that leads you into a greater assignment. Remember, beloved, pressure does not always mean punishment. Pressure can mean transition. Pressure can mean expansion. Pressure can mean that what I placed inside you has outgrown the container that once held it. If you had stayed too long in a place that no longer honored the life I was growing within you, you would have begun to call shrinking humility. You would have called exhaustion faithfulness. You would have called survival obedience. And I love you too much to let a former season quietly reduce the person I am raising you to become. So today, stop interpreting every painful shift as evidence that you failed. Stop believing that the tension meant I had left you. Stop assuming that the closed door was the first sign of change. I was speaking before the door closed. I was stirring before the announcement came. I was preparing you before the workplace shifted. The pressure was not sent to destroy you. It was permitted to move you. It was the mercy that loosened your grip when your heart did not yet know how to let go. Do not mourn forever what I used as a doorway out. Do not keep begging for peace in the place where I am teaching you to follow my lead. Let your soul breathe again. Let your hands open. Let your spirit stop fighting the transition I have already begun. I saw what they did not see in you, and because I saw it, I knew when staying would begin to shrink what I planted. Now trust me beyond the pressure. Trust me beyond the confusion. Trust me beyond the closing of the old door. I am not pushing you into emptiness. I am leading you toward the threshold of something appointed, something prepared, something large enough for the next measure of grace I am placing upon your life. Remember Joseph, beloved. The coat was taken, the family door closed, the prison door closed, but the promise of God did not close. The dream I placed in him was not erased when his brothers rejected him. The favor upon his life was not canceled when he was thrown into a pit. The calling over him was not destroyed when he was carried into a land he did not choose, placed among people who did not know his story, and forced to serve in circumstances that looked nothing like the dream I had shown him. Joseph was beloved, gifted, marked, and misunderstood. He carried a promise, but the path of that promise did not look like promotion at first. It looked like betrayal. It looked like removal. It looked like being stripped of what once identified him. It looked like being sent far away from the familiar places where he thought his future would unfold. And so it may feel with you. You may have believed that because I gave you gifts, the path would be straight. You may have believed that because you served faithfully, the door would open gently. You may have believed that because your heart was sincere, people would always treat you with honor. But Joseph teaches you that a God-given dream can pass through places that seem opposite to the promise. A pit does not mean the dream is dead. A closed family door does not mean heaven has closed its voice. A workplace rejection, a denied position, a sudden removal, a painful misunderstanding, or a season of being hidden does not mean I have withdrawn my hand from your life. Sometimes the promise has to travel through disruption before it reaches the place where it can become provision for more than you. Joseph was not promoted by comfort. He was positioned through disruption. He did not walk from the coat directly to the palace. He went through the pit. He went through servanthood. He went through false accusation. He went through a prison where his name seemed forgotten. He served in hidden rooms before he stood in royal halls. He learned stewardship before he carried authority. He learned faithfulness when no one from his past was there to applaud him. He learned wisdom in places that seemed beneath the dream, but those places were forming the capacity required for the dream. Beloved, do not despise the place where I am training you simply because it is not the place you expected to be seen. Even in prison, Joseph's gift still functioned. His coat was gone, but his discernment remained. His family had betrayed him, but his spirit was still alive before me. His outward circumstances had changed, but the wisdom I placed within him had not disappeared. He noticed the sorrow on the faces of others. He interpreted dreams. He served faithfully in a confined place. He carried excellence when his own story had not yet been explained. He did not wait for the palace to become useful. He was useful in the hidden place, and the hidden place became the doorway to the throne. Do you see now, beloved? Your gifts are not confined to the place that closed. Your calling is not imprisoned by the people who rejected you. What I placed in you can still breathe in the waiting season, still serve in the unfamiliar season, still sharpen in the quiet season, still prepare you for the appointed time. As written in the book of Genesis, Joseph said, "Ye thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive." Those words were not only the explanation of Joseph's pain, they were the unveiling of my providence. What his brothers meant for harm, I turned toward preservation. What looked like loss, I turned toward provision. What looked like rejection, I turned toward leadership. What looked like delay, I turned toward purpose. I did not approve of the betrayal, but I used what betrayal could not destroy. I did not call the false accusation righteous, but I caused it to move Joseph closer to the assignment that would one day feed nations. I did not waste the prison. I did not waste the tears. I did not waste the years that seemed silent. And I will not waste yours. I will not waste the interview that ended with silence. I will not waste the promotion that went to someone else. I will not waste the role that was taken, the team that changed, the opportunity that closed, the accusation that misrepresented you, or the season when you served faithfully and felt forgotten. I can take what people meant in pride, fear, envy, haste, blindness, or misunderstanding, and turn it toward your preparation. I can take the door that wounded you and make it part of the road that matures you. I can take what seemed to push you down and use it to position you where your obedience will carry greater weight. Beloved, this is why you must not call yourself punished when I am positioning you. Do not let the pit write the final sentence. Do not let the prison define the promise. Do not let one closed workplace door convince you that your future has no room left. Joseph's journey was not merely about employment in Egypt. It was about assignment. It was about impact. It was about leadership, provision, preservation, and service at the appointed time. And so it is with you. I am moving you from merely being attached to a place into understanding that you are assigned for purpose. The next door is not only about income, though I know you need provision. It is not only about title, though I know you desire meaningful work. It is about the people your wisdom will help, the burdens your discernment will lift, the order your hands will bring, the light your faithfulness will carry into rooms that have been waiting for what I formed in you through the hidden season. So today, remember Joseph, and let your heart breathe again. The coat can be taken and the calling remain. The door can close and the promise remain. The familiar place can reject you, and my hand can still be guiding you. What looks like removal may be movement. What looks like delay may be training. What looks like being forgotten may be the quiet before your appointed time. I am not finished with the dream I placed within you. I am not finished with the work of your hands. I am not finished with the wisdom I have been forming in your spirit. Stand in faith, beloved. Serve with the light you have today. Carry your gift even in hidden places. The pit was not the end of Joseph's promise, and this closed door is not the end of yours. Beloved, after Joseph understood that the pit was not the end of the promise, he also had to understand that some places were not meant to keep him, and so it is with you. I am not only positioning you for what is ahead, I am also protecting you from what would have cost you more than you understood while you were praying to remain. There are doors you called opportunity because they looked impressive from the outside, but I saw what was behind them. I saw the weight they would place upon your spirit. I saw the way they would demand your strength while neglecting your soul. I saw the way they would applaud your productivity while quietly draining your peace. I saw the hidden cost before you paid it fully. I did not remove you to shame you. I removed you because there are places that will use your strength but never honor your soul. There are rooms that will praise your gift while ignoring your humanity. There are systems that will reward you only when you are exhausted, only when you are silent, only when you keep giving more than you are able to carry. There are doors that look like advancement but lead into endless striving. There are promotions that lift the title while crushing the spirit. There are contracts that bring income but slowly steal rest, tenderness, prayer, family balance, and the quiet joy that allows your heart to remain alive before me. I know you wanted the door to open. I know you asked me for the promotion, the approval, the extension, the partnership, the interview, the assignment, the favor of a certain person, or the signature that would have kept the path alive. I know how painful it felt when the answer did not come the way you expected. You thought silence meant denial without purpose. You thought the blocked path meant someone had power over your future. You thought the application rejected, the contract ended, the leadership decision changed, or the person standing in the way had stolen something from you. But beloved, what you called obstruction may have been protection. What you called a mischance may have been my mercy, drawing a boundary around your life. I saw the toxic expectations before they became normal to you. I saw the manipulation before you learned to excuse it. I saw the moral compromise that would have asked you to silence conviction for acceptance. I saw the spiritual numbness that would have come slowly, not all at once, until prayer felt distant, worship felt dry, and your heart became so consumed with surviving the room that you forgot the sound of my voice. I saw the version of you that might have remained there too long, functioning outwardly while fading inwardly. And because I love you, I closed what would have trapped you in a lesser version of obedience. Do not forget, beloved, I am the God of the threshold. I am not only the one who opens doors that no one can shut, I am also faithful enough to shut doors that no one should force open. As written in Revelation 3:7 and 8, He that openeth, and no man shutteth, and no man openeth, has set before thee an open door. Those words are not only about access, they are about authority. They are about heaven governing the entrances and exits of your life. They are about my hand standing over the threshold when human voices speak, when decisions are made, when plans shift, when access changes, and when the door you wanted suddenly does not move. So today, Release the need to understand every closed door immediately. Some protections are recognized only with time. Some rescues feel like rejection when they first happen. Some mercies arrive dressed as disappointment. But one day you will look back and say, if I had stayed there, I would have lost more than I knew. If that door had opened, I might have gained a position, but lost my peace. If that path had continued, I might have kept a title but weakened my obedience. And when that understanding comes, your mourning will turn into gratitude, not because the pain was small, but because my protection was greater than your perception. Beloved, stop trying to resurrect what I closed for your covering. Stop standing at the old threshold begging for entry when my hand has already moved you away from danger you could not fully see. I am not cruel in my closing. I am faithful. I am not withholding life from you. I am preserving it. I closed what would have cost you your peace. And I am leading you toward a door where your obedience, your integrity, your family, your spirit, and your future can breathe again. Beloved, if I closed what would have cost you your peace, then hear this also with a quiet and steady heart. You did not lose your assignment when you lost access to a position. You did not lose your calling when a door closed, when a title changed, when an employer no longer held your place, when a department shifted, when a schedule ended, when an office became unavailable, or when a name was removed from a plan you thought would carry you longer. A job can be a vessel, but it is not the ocean. A position can be a tool, but it is not the source. A workplace can be a field where I plant you for a season, but your assignment is deeper than the soil of one company, one leader, one contract, one desk, one team, or one human decision. I know the position mattered to you. I know it represented stability, progress, recognition, provision, responsibility, and a sense of belonging. I know you had tied parts of your daily rhythm, your confidence, your future plans, and even your prayers to that place. I do not despise the grief that comes when something meaningful ends, but I am lifting your eyes now above the name of the place and back toward the one who called you before that place ever knew your name. Your title may have described what you did for a season, but it never contained all that I placed within you. Your badge may have given you entry into a building, but it did not create the wisdom in your spirit. Your role may have assigned tasks to your hands, but it did not invent the grace upon your life. Beloved, I can use workplaces, and I can use businesses. I can use interviews, and I can use delays. I can use promotions, transfers, layoffs, sudden changes, closed doors, quiet waiting, unexpected conversations, and opportunities that appear when you thought nothing was moving. I can use the place that received you, and I can use the place that rejected you. I can use the season when your name was celebrated, and I can use the season when your name was overlooked. But none of these things are strong enough to cancel what I have spoken over you. No employer is powerful enough to erase my purpose. No supervisor is high enough to overrule my hand. No system is large enough to swallow the calling I formed in you before you entered the room. Do not reduce your assignment to the last place that held you. Do not measure your future by the door that no longer opens. What I placed in you is portable, beloved. The wisdom you gained is coming with you. The compassion that grew through pain is coming with you. The organization, the creativity, the leadership, the discernment, the patience, the problem solving, the integrity, the endurance, and the quiet strength you learned in difficult rooms are not buried in the place that ended. They are stewardship, they are seed, they are tools in your hands for the next field I will show you. Even the things you learned through tears are not wasted. Even the scars that taught you where boundaries should be, where truth must be spoken, where humility must remain, and where compromise must not enter. Even those scars will become wisdom in the new season. As written in Colossians 3:23, "Whatsoever ye do, do it heartily, as to the Lord, and not unto men." Beloved, do you see now why your labor still mattered, even when people failed to honor it rightly? Your true service was never only reaching human supervisors. It was rising before me. Every honest effort, every faithful task, every moment you chose excellence when resentment tried to rise, every time you served with clean hands when the atmosphere around you felt heavy, I received it. You were not merely working for applause. You were not merely working for a paycheck. You were learning to offer your hands to me even in places that did not fully understand the value of what they were receiving. And now listen deeply. You are not beginning from nothing. You are carrying every lesson, every scar, every skill, and every hidden victory into the next place. You are not empty-handed at this threshold. You are not the same person who entered the old season. You have been refined by pressure, softened by pain, strengthened by endurance, and taught by what you could not control. The closed door did not strip you of all you became while you were there. It only ended the season. It did not erase the formation. It did not erase the growth. It did not erase the prayers. It did not erase the maturity I worked into you when you thought you were only trying to survive. There are people ahead who will need what this season has taught you. There are people who feel unseen, and your compassion will notice them because you know what it is to be overlooked. There are people who are weary, and your words will carry weight because you know what it is to keep serving while tired. There are rooms that need leadership that does not crush the fragile, authority that does not forget mercy, excellence that does not become pride, and discernment that protects what others ignore. I am not only healing your workplace pain for your own relief, I am turning it into light. I am making your life a lamp for those who will need proof that rejection is not the end, that a closed door is not the death of purpose, that a person can be wounded and still be useful, delayed and still be called, hidden and still be held. So today, release the fear that you are no longer assigned because you are no longer positioned where you were. Let that false sentence fall from your mind. Your assignment is bigger than your position. Your calling is bigger than your title. Your purpose is bigger than the system that could not keep you. Walk forward with the humility of one who has learned, and with the courage of one who is still sent. I did not bring you out to make you less. I brought you out to lead you into the next measure of obedience. The old position may be gone, but my hand is not gone. The old door may be closed, but my voice is not silent. You are still mine, beloved, and what I placed within you is still alive. Beloved, because what I placed within you is still alive, you must be careful not to build a home in the place I only used as a bridge. There are seasons I used to carry you, teach you, stretch you, and form you, but they were never meant to become the final dwelling place of your soul. A bridge is sacred when it helps you cross, but it becomes a prison when you sit down upon it and refuse to keep walking. The old place had purpose. The old position had lessons. The old door had meaning for a time. But when grace lifts from a season, familiarity must not become your reason for disobedience. I know why you look back. I know the old rhythms are easier to imagine than the new path you cannot fully see. I know the mind returns to what it knows, even when what it knows wounded it. You remember the desk, the schedule, the names, the conversations, the plans you made, the way you thought life would unfold if that door had stayed open. You remember what was good, and sometimes your heart softens toward what ended because distance can make even pain appear smaller than it was. But beloved, do not let memory edit truth until the place I rescued you from begins to look like the place you should return to. Grief is allowed. I do not rebuke you for grieving what mattered. I do not ask you to pretend that the ending did not hurt, that the disappointment was small, that the injustice did not leave marks upon your spirit. There is holy honesty in bringing your sorrow before me. There is healing in admitting that something you hoped for has ended. But grief must not become an altar to what I am finished using. Do not keep lighting candles in your heart for a season I have already completed. Do not let sorrow become devotion to the past. Honor what ended, receive what it taught you, bless what was good, release what was painful, and keep walking. So today, do not remain standing before a door I have already closed, asking it to become your future again. Do not continue knocking with wounded hands on a threshold where my peace is no longer calling you. Do not rehearse every conversation until your soul is exhausted. Do not replay the email, the interview, the meeting, the silence, the decision, the rejection, or the unfair moment, until bitterness becomes the loudest voice in the room. I saw it. I heard it. I know what was spoken, what was withheld, what was misunderstood, and what was done without honor. Nothing is hidden from me. But if you keep living inside the replay, you will miss the instruction I am placing before you now. Release comparison. Release the need to know why someone else was chosen, why their path seemed easier, why their name was remembered, why their door opened while yours closed. I am not leading you by comparison. I am leading you by calling. Their story is not the measure of your worth. Their timing is not the denial of your promise. Their open door is not evidence that I have forgotten yours. Keep your eyes on me, beloved, because comparison will turn your healing season into another workplace of striving, and I am calling you into freedom. And now listen deeply. Obedience in this season may look quieter than you expected. It may look like updating the resume with a steady hand. It may look like making the call you have delayed. It may look like applying for the position with peace instead of panic. It may look like resting without guilt because your body and spirit have carried more than others can see. It may look like seeking wise counsel, preparing the skill, studying again, opening the document, sending the message, forgiving the person, closing the browser, cleaning the space, or taking one small step toward the light I have already given. Do not despise the small step. Many appointed doors are reached by ordinary obedience. Move not with the haste of fear, but with the steadiness of faith. I am not asking you to prove your worth through frantic activity. I am asking you to follow the light you have. As written in the book of Psalms, "Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path." A lamp does not always show the entire road. It gives enough light for the next faithful step. So take that step, not because you are desperate to replace what ended, but because you trust the one who is leading you beyond it. Beloved, do not confuse release with dishonor. You can be grateful for what was and still obey what is next. You can acknowledge the pain and still refuse to be chained to it. You can remember the bridge without building a home there. I used that season, but I am not finished leading you. I closed the old door, but I have not closed your future. Lift your eyes, open your hands. Let your heart become free enough to follow. The next measure of obedience is already shining before you, and my grace will meet you as you walk. Beloved, after you release the bridge, there is often a quiet place where your feet do not yet know the full shape of the road ahead. The old door has closed, but the new door has not yet opened wide enough for you to see all that is coming. And in that middle place, the heart can become tender and afraid. You may wake in the morning with questions before your feet touch the floor. You may look at the bills, the calendar, the unanswered messages, the applications sent into silence, the interviews that seemed hopeful but went nowhere, and wonder if anything is moving at all. You may feel the ache of not knowing what comes next. And because you cannot see the door, you may be tempted to believe there is no door. But I tell you, beloved, the hidden season is not empty. Sacred things grow in hidden depths before they rise to the surface, and I am strengthening roots you cannot yet see. A seed does not accuse the soil because the blossom has not appeared. A root does not announce itself while it is finding water in secret places. And so it is with you. What looks quiet on the outside may be full of my work beneath the surface. What feels like delay may be formation. What feels like silence may be a holy chamber where I am teaching your spirit to hear me without the noise of the old room. I know the waiting is uncomfortable. I know you would rather have the answer quickly, the offer clearly, the provision visibly, the next step confirmed in a way that removes every tremor from your chest. I know you have asked, when will the door open? When will the call come? When will the uncertainty lift? But beloved, I am not only preparing a door for you, I am preparing you for the door. There are blessings that require healed hands to hold them. There are assignments that require a steadier spirit than yesterday. There are rooms that will demand discernment, courage, boundaries, patience, and obedience so quick and clean that hesitation cannot keep you tied to what I have already moved you beyond. Remember David. Before he sat near the throne, he was hidden in the field. Before his name was known in the palace, his hands were faithful with the sheep. Before he faced Goliath in the valley, he learned courage where no crowd was watching. The field did not look like preparation for kingship, but I was training his hands there. I was teaching him to guard what was vulnerable, to worship in hidden places, to fight battles without applause, to trust me when no one saw the oil that would one day mark his life. Beloved, do not despise the field. The place where you feel unseen may be the place where I am making you strong enough for what will be seen later. Remember Moses. Before deliverance, there was wilderness. Before he stood before Pharaoh, he spent years away from Egypt, away from power, away from the identity he once knew. What looked like exile became preparation. What looked like distance became a classroom. I was forming humility, endurance, listening, and dependence in him before I sent him back with a voice that would carry my command. And so I may be using this season to remove the fear of people from you, to quiet the need for approval, to deepen your trust, and to teach you that your authority does not come from the rooms that accept you, but from the God who sends you. Remember Ruth. She gleaned before redemption unfolded. She gathered what was available one handful at a time, not knowing how fully I was arranging favor around her. She did not see the whole story while she was in the field. She simply moved with loyalty, humility, and diligence in the light she had. And beloved, your obedience in this season may look like gleaning. It may look like learning again, healing slowly, praying honestly, budgeting wisely, sending one message, making one connection, rebuilding confidence after rejection, resting without shame, and listening for direction with a heart that is no longer controlled by panic. These small acts are not small to me. They are seeds of readiness. Remember Esther. She was hidden before influence. She went through preparation before she stood in the place where her voice would matter for many. The hidden season was not punishment. It was positioning. I was arranging access, timing, courage, and purpose long before the moment required her yes. And now listen deeply, beloved. I may be changing more than your workplace. I may be changing your capacity. I may be teaching you where your yes belongs and where your no must stand firm. I may be healing the part of you that overperformed for acceptance. I may be strengthening the part of you that forgot how to speak with peace. I may be teaching you to obey quickly when I say move, and to rest quietly when I say wait. As written in the book of Proverbs, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Beloved, direction does not always come as a map spread fully before you. Many times it comes as light for one step, peace for one decision, wisdom for one conversation, strength for one day, restraint for one door that looks good but does not carry my breath, and courage for one opportunity that stretches you beyond what is familiar. Do not demand the whole road before you trust the one who directs your path. I am not asking you to understand everything. I am asking you to acknowledge me in everything. So today, let the waiting season become holy ground instead of a place of torment. Bring me your fear about provision. Bring me the ache of silence. Bring me the disappointment of interviews that did not become offers. Bring me the fatigue of trying again. I will meet you there, not only with comfort, but with formation. I am training your hands for the next door. I am strengthening your roots for the next season. I am teaching your heart to move without fear and wait without despair. The delay is not wasted when I am in it. The hidden place is not barren when my spirit is working there. You are not falling behind, beloved. You are being prepared for a door you could not carry yesterday, and when the appointed time comes, you will step through it with deeper peace, cleaner vision, stronger hands, and a heart ready to obey. Beloved, now bring me the fear beneath the fear. Bring me the thought that comes when the house is quiet and the numbers are still there, when the bill has not disappeared, when the family need is real, when the calendar keeps moving, when the account does not look the way you hoped it would look, and when the closed workplace door whispers that scarcity is now your future. Bring me the shame that tries to attach itself to employment uncertainty. Bring me the heaviness you feel when someone asks what you are doing now, when you do not yet have a clear answer, when you feel as though you must explain your value because a position no longer explains it for you. I see that fear. I see that ache. I see the questions you are trying to carry with a brave face. And I tell you tenderly, I know what you need before you ask, and I am not careless with the life I called by name. I did not lead you out of one place so that provision could die in the wilderness. I did not close a door and then forget that you still have needs, responsibilities, family, commitments, and daily bread to receive. The ending of a job is not the ending of my care. The closing of a company door is not the closing of heaven's hand. Do not allow fear to preach a false gospel over your future. Fear will tell you that because one stream stopped flowing, there is no water left in the earth. Fear will tell you that because one employer said no, no other door can say yes. Fear will tell you that because your path changed suddenly, your provision has become fragile. But beloved, fear is not your shepherd. I am. Be responsible, but do not be ruled by panic. Take the wise step, make the call, send the application. Update what must be updated. Ask for counsel, learn what must be learned. Steward what is in your hand with humility and discipline. But do not let anxiety become the voice that leads you. There is a difference between obedience and frantic striving. There is a difference between preparation and panic. There is a difference between walking by wisdom and running because terror has taken the throne of your thoughts. I am calling you to move, yes, but not as one abandoned. I am calling you to act, yes, but not as one unloved. Let your hands do what is faithful, while your heart rests in the one who provides. Remember Israel in the wilderness. They did not understand the path. They did not see storehouses stretched across the desert. They did not have the comfort of Egypt's familiar systems, and many times their fear looked back toward bondage because bondage felt predictable. Yet morning by morning, manna appeared, not always early enough to satisfy their anxiety, but always faithful enough to meet the need. As written in the book of Exodus, "Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, beloved." I know how to feed my people in places where there are no visible fields. I know how to sustain what I have called out. I know how to make provision appear in a season that looks barren to human eyes. Remember Elijah. The brook dried, but my word had not failed. The place that once sustained him was not meant to sustain him forever. When the water stopped, it did not mean my care had stopped. I had already appointed another place. I had already commanded provision to meet him beyond the brook, as written in the book of 1 Kings. "Arise, get thee to Zarephath, for I have commanded a widow woman there to sustain thee." Do you see it, beloved? The drying brook was not the death of provision. It was redirection. The source changed, but the provider remained. The channel shifted, but my faithfulness did not move. And so it is with you. I may provide through a different company, a different field, a business idea, a temporary bridge, a mentor, a skill you once overlooked, a connection you did not expect, a conversation that opens quietly, or favor that arrives from a direction you did not know to watch. Do not worship the channel. Trust the source. The old door was never your provider. The paycheck was a vessel. The employer was a channel. The position was a means for a season. But I am the one who gives seed to the sower and bread to the eater. I am not limited to the structure that ended. Heaven has more than one way to sustain you, more than one way to advance you, more than one way to place your name before the right eyes at the appointed time. So today, release the agreement you made with scarcity when disappointment wounded you. Release the sentence that says, "Because this door closed, I will not have enough." Release the shame that makes you hide from people, hide from prayer, hide from hope, or hide from the next step. Lift your eyes, beloved. I am redirecting your provision, not removing it. I am teaching you to trust me beyond the familiar channel. I am showing you that your security was never in the workplace that closed, but in the hand that has never released you. Walk wisely, move faithfully, breathe deeply. The door behind you may be shut, but my provision is still alive, and I will not be careless with the life I called by name. Beloved, if I am redirecting your provision and not removing it, then understand also that I am not sending you forward as the same person who entered the last season. You have been changed, not destroyed. You have been sobered, not emptied. You have been taught to see with clearer eyes. The closed door did not merely take something from your schedule, your income, your rhythm, or your plans. It revealed things to you. It showed you what drains your spirit. It showed you what kind of pressure can slowly steal your peace. It showed you where you were giving strength to places that did not know how to steward it. It showed you what honors your gifts, what diminishes them, what helps you serve faithfully, and what makes your soul grow weary even when your hands keep moving. I did not let you pass through that season only to wound you. I used even the painful places to sharpen discernment, deepen compassion, and teach you what must not follow you into the next assignment. Some things were exposed not to make you bitter, but to make you wise. Some conversations revealed what you must no longer ignore. Some disappointments uncovered patterns you had excused for too long. Some delays taught you patience, and some rejections taught you boundaries. Some silence taught you to stop begging for affirmation from people who were never assigned to define you. And some endings taught you that peace is not a small thing, beloved. Peace is not a luxury. Peace is a guard over the place where your obedience must remain alive. Do not despise the discernment that came through discomfort. You now know more about your spirit than you knew before. You know when an opportunity looks impressive but feels heavy in a way that does not carry my breath. You know when the room rewards performance but punishes honesty. You know when a place invites your labor but not your voice. You know when your gifts are being used without being honored. when your excellence is being expected without your humanity being considered, when your willingness is being mistaken for endless availability. These lessons were costly, yes, but they are not useless. They are light for the threshold ahead. As written in the book of Hebrews, strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. Beloved, discernment is often exercised through what you had to walk through. It is strengthened when you learn to recognize the difference between an open door and an assigned door, between opportunity and obedience, between urgency and divine timing, between flattery and favor, between fear pushing you and peace leading you. I am teaching your spirit to recognize what your eyes alone cannot judge. I am teaching you not to be seduced by every door that has a polished handle, and not to reject every door that begins humbly. Carry wisdom, but do not carry bitterness. Remember the lessons, but do not rehearse the injury until it becomes your identity. Let the old season teach you without poisoning you. Let it mature you without hardening you. Let it make you watchful without making you suspicious of everyone I send. I do not want you to enter the next door with hands clenched around old offense. I want you to enter with clean hands and a steady heart. Clean hands do not mean you pretend nothing happened. A steady heart does not mean you forget the pain. It means you have given the judgment to me. It means you have released the need to prove, defend, replay, and punish. It means you are free enough to obey without dragging yesterday into rooms I am preparing for tomorrow. And now listen deeply. The next assignment may not appear with glamour at first. It may not arrive with a loud announcement, a perfect title, a grand invitation, or a path that immediately satisfies every desire you have carried. It may begin quietly, through one conversation, one application, one idea, one message, one unfamiliar opportunity, one temporary step, one act of obedience that does not look large to anyone else. Do not miss the sacred because it arrives in ordinary clothing. Do not reject the beginning because it does not yet look like the fullness. A door can be appointed even when it opens softly. A seed can be holy before it becomes a harvest. A small beginning can carry a great assignment when my hand is upon it. You are not only leaving something, beloved, you are being sent somewhere. You are standing at a threshold with more than a resume in your hand. You are carrying refined motives, deeper spiritual sight, a heart that has learned what peace costs, and hands that have been trained by both labor and loss. You are being sent with greater discernment so that you will not build again in places where your soul is being slowly drained. You are being sent with greater compassion so that you will not become like those who failed to see you. You are being sent with greater courage so that your voice will not disappear when truth must be spoken with humility. You are being sent with greater excellence so that your work will still bear witness to me, even in rooms where no one speaks my name. I am making you a lamp in the workplace, beloved, not merely a worker who completes tasks, but a presence that carries peace. Not merely a professional who knows how to perform, but a servant whose spirit has been anchored in me. I am forming in you fairness where others have known favoritism, courage where others have learned silence, hope where others have accepted heaviness, and integrity where compromise has become common. Your next assignment is not only about where you will earn, it is about where you will shine, as spoken in the Gospel of Matthew. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on an hill cannot be hid. Do you see now? Even what hurt you is being turned into oil for your lamp. So today, do not fear the maturity I have formed in you. Do not call yourself damaged when I call you discerning. Do not call yourself behind when I call you prepared. Do not call yourself rejected when I call you sent. Step toward the threshold with clean hands. Let your heart be steady. Let your eyes be open. Let your motives be surrendered. I am not only redirecting your steps, I am maturing you for the responsibility of the next door. And when you enter it, you will not enter as one begging to be seen. You will enter as one who knows that I have already seen you, already kept you, already taught you, and already placed light within you for the room I am preparing next. Beloved, now that your eyes are open and your hands have been trained, do not stand still when I begin to place peace before you. There is a door that will not look exactly like the one you lost. There is a path that may not carry the same title, the same rhythm, the same familiar faces, or the same shape you imagined when you first prayed for restoration. But do not miss my leading because it arrives differently than your expectation. Watch for the door marked by peace. Watch for alignment that does not flatter your fear, but steadies your spirit. Watch for wisdom that confirms the next step, provision that begins to gather, counsel that bears witness, and the quiet inward knowing that says, "This is the way, walk ye in it." I do not say the open door will remove every question from your mind. I do not say your hands will never tremble when you reach for the handle. Peace does not always mean the absence of nerves. Peace does not always mean the road is easy, familiar, or free from stretching. Sometimes peace is the settled witness beneath the trembling. Sometimes peace is the still voice beneath the noise. Sometimes peace is the quiet strength that remains, even when your thoughts are asking how, when, where, and what if. Beloved, courage is often required at the very door I have appointed, because obedience is not proven when everything feels certain. Obedience is revealed when you trust my voice more than the echo of your fear. So rise, beloved, walk forward, send the message, prepare the document, enter the interview, begin again. Do not despise the small door. Do not look at a humble beginning and say it cannot carry holy purpose. Do not look at one conversation, one application, one opportunity, one class, one meeting, one step, and decide it is too small for me to use. I have placed great harvests inside small seeds. I have hidden kings in fields, deliverers in deserts, and provision beside drying brooks. I know how to breathe upon beginnings that others overlook. I know how to turn a quiet yes into a threshold of destiny. Do not wait for total certainty before you obey the light already given. Clarity often unfolds after the first faithful step. The lamp shines at your feet before it shows the far country. The river parts when feet move toward the water. The door becomes clearer when you walk toward it in faith. If you demand to see every outcome before you move, fear will dress itself as wisdom and keep you bound to the place I am calling you beyond. I am not asking you to be reckless. I am asking you to be responsive. I am not calling you to ignore wisdom. I am calling you to stop using uncertainty as a reason to delay obedience. And now listen deeply. Stop measuring the next door by the pain of the last one. Do not make the old wound the prophet over your future. Not every leader will fail to see you. Not every room will drain you. Not every opportunity will repeat the same pattern. Not every authority figure is the one who dismissed you, overlooked you, used you, or misunderstood you. Bring discernment, yes, but do not bring suspicion as your covering. Bring wisdom, yes, but do not bring bitterness as your guide. Let me heal the place that expects harm before grace can even speak. Your assignment is changing, and I am teaching your feet how to follow the light. I am teaching you to recognize the difference between fear pushing and peace leading. I am teaching you to move when grace opens, to pause when my spirit restrains, to ask when wisdom is needed, and to step when the appointed time has come. The next door may not answer every question before you enter it, but it will call you to move with faith instead of fear. So today, beloved, when peace opens a door, do not stand outside rehearsing why the last one hurt. Lift your eyes, straighten your spirit, take the next faithful step. I am with you at the threshold. I am before you in the room. I am behind you with the lessons. I am beneath you with strength. Walk forward, not as one rejected, but as one sent. Beloved, now place this whole work season into my hands. Place the closed door here. Place the unanswered questions here. Place the applications, the interviews, the waiting, the provision, the income, the relationships, the memories, the disappointment, the hopes you are almost afraid to name, and the future you cannot yet see. Do not carry them as though you are alone at the threshold. Bring your gifts before me. Bring the skill I placed in your hands, the wisdom I planted in your mind, the compassion I formed through your pain, the excellence you have practiced in hidden places, and the calling that no rejection has authority to erase. Let your work life become consecrated again, not merely as a way to earn, but as ground where your obedience can shine. So today, let this be your prayer. Father, I surrender my work life to you. I surrender my gifts, my decisions, my income, my interviews, my applications, my workplace relationships, my rest, my next steps, and every future assignment you have appointed for me. I give you the door that closed. I give you the room that did not recognize me. I give you the words that wounded me, the silence that confused me, the rejection that tried to rename me, and the fear that told me I would never begin again. Wash my heart from shame. Cleanse my spirit from bitterness. Deliver me from tying my identity to a title, a position, a company, a salary, or the approval of people. Teach me to remember that I am yours before I am anything else. Beloved, pray it with a steady heart. Lord, I release those who close the door. I release the need to prove myself to them. I release the weight of replaying every conversation, every decision, every unfair moment, every place where I felt unseen or misunderstood. I do not call evil good, and I do not pretend pain was painless, but I place judgment into your hands. I refuse to let bitterness become the companion of my next season. I refuse to let rejection become the lens through which I see every future opportunity. Heal me where I was overlooked. Restore me where I was drained. Strengthen me where fear weakened my voice. Make my heart clean enough to enter the next door without dragging the last room behind me. And now declare this before heaven. Let every door not sent by you remain closed, and let every appointed door open at the right time with peace, wisdom, and provision. Let no counterfeit opportunity seduce me, because I am afraid. Let no familiar bondage call me back because it feels predictable. Let no door open that would cost me my peace, corrupt my calling, silence my obedience, or pull my heart away from you. But let every door ordained by your hand open in the appointed time. Let the right people recognize what you placed in me. Let the right conversations be arranged. Let provision gather. Let wisdom guide me. Let courage rise. Let my feet move when you say move, and let my spirit rest when you say wait. As written in the book of Psalms, the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. Beloved, your steps are not floating without meaning. Your future is not abandoned to chance. The door behind you may be closed, but I am still ordering steps. I am still providing daily bread. I am still speaking through peace. I am still assigning purpose. I am still making a way where your eyes cannot yet trace the road. Leave the closed door in my hands. Take the lesson, but leave the shame. Take the wisdom, but leave the bitterness. Take the discernment, but leave the fear. Take the courage, and walk forward. And if this word is meeting you in a hard work season, if you are standing between what ended and what is not yet fully opened, write this declaration with faith. My assignment is changing, and God is leading my next door. Let those words become more than a comment. Let them become agreement in your spirit. Let them speak over your resume, your interview, your income, your calling, your waiting, your healing, and your next yes. My assignment is changing, and God is leading my next door. Beloved, do not stand alone in silence. Leave your prayer requests for work, provision, interviews, calling, or career redirection so others can stand with you in faith. There is strength when my people pray together. There is comfort when burdens are not hidden. There is hope when testimony begins to rise from the place that once felt like loss. And now, if this message met you at the very place where the workplace door hurt, like this message as an act of agreement, share it with someone facing rejection, transition, or the fear of starting over. And subscribe for more messages that help you recognize my hand in closed doors and new beginnings. Walk forward in peace, beloved. Your life is still being led. Your provision is still under my care. Your assignment is not over. The next door belongs to me.